Merry Christmas, guys! It is Gate of Theories here today. Well, actually it's not Christmas. It was Christmas 2 days ago, but really, who cares? Anyway, today we have a kind of crazy theory to do with Nickelodeon and, well, Walt Disney. Now, if you saw our last Nickelodeon theory about who Freddy's dad is, that one I don't know how that's physically possible. I did not come up with that theory, but basically, if you don't know what it is, then you might as well go and check it out now. I'll leave a card somewhere up there. Anyway, but that theory was about Freddy. Basically, Freddy's dad was a bee from the Bee Movie, and that was kind of crazy. This theory, I don't know if it's crazier, but again, it's comparing Nickelodeon with a completely different company. This time, Walt Disney. The main characters I'm going to be focusing on this theory are one character from Drake and Josh and one character from the Walt Disney movie Bolt. And these two characters have the first same name, and today I'm asking if they are the same person. And yeah, the two characters are Mindy Crenshaw from Drake and Josh and Mindy Parker from the network from Bolt. Now, you might be thinking, what on earth, that isn't possible? Or you might be thinking, who are these two people? Well, first of all, I'll answer that second question for you. Mindy Crenshaw is, as you probably know if you are a Nickelodeon fan, is Josh's girlfriend for most of the time we see her in Drake and Josh. And Mindy Parker from the network is from Bolt, and basically this person who, well, is from the network, basically. And yeah, that's sort of it. But she is a kind of a bit disruptive to the whole show that they're trying to do in Hollywood in Bolt. But you kind of need to see the movie to find out more about Mindy Parker from the network. So, how are these two the same person? Well, first of all, we have to go back to Mindy's life in Drake and Josh, as Mindy Parker from the network is the future of Mindy Crenshaw, and she doesn't really have that much to do with this theory. We mainly have to look at lots of the points we find out about Mindy's life in Drake and Josh. So, as I said before, we kind of need to know a lot about Mindy, and we need to see each individual part. So, I'm about to tell you basically the life of Mindy Crenshaw in Drake and Josh. So, she first appears in an episode in Series 2 of Drake and Josh, where basically she's, well, the mean girl in the class. To especially Josh, because, well, Josh always comes second in everything because Mindy always beats her. And basically, Mindy likes to keep her straight A's going on results that she gets, but she gets a B from her teacher, Mrs. Hafer, and she doesn't like that at all. It drives her crazy because she's got to get full marks every single time. She's got to at least get an A. She can't get a B. It's horrible. So what she does is she decides to take out Mrs. Hafer's car, like take all the pieces apart, and then reassemble it in her classroom, because she's very clever and she can do that. So, yeah, and seeing as Mrs. Hafer hates Drake Parker from Drake and Josh, Mindy thought it was a good idea to frame Drake. So she frames Drake and, well, yeah, basically Drake gets framed and he is nearly suspended from school. Luckily, Drake has his good brother Josh, and Josh ends up working out with the help of Megan, their sister, and that was Mindy, and basically Mindy gets sent away. We do not hear from her for about, I don't know, a few episodes, and she eventually comes back in Series 3, where basically it's the science fair, and Josh is really happy because he knows he's going to win, because Mindy Crenshaw isn't here to, like, beat him, because she beats him at everything. And just when he thinks he's about to win, he sees Mindy Crenshaw, and yeah, that drives him crazy. And Mindy, of course, wins. And they end up being on a project together that week. So they have to do, I think it's a history and geography project they have to do. And basically Mindy chose Josh to be the partner, and Josh had no idea why. And yeah, so they do a project, and Mindy is liking Josh, and they become girlfriend and boyfriend in this. But Josh is afraid to tell Drake, because of course Drake and Mindy are enemies because of the Mrs. Hafer car thing. So yeah, so he's afraid to tell Drake. They nearly break up because she didn't, but yeah, he eventually did, and it's because of Drake that they're like madly in love and stuff like that. And we see a couple more episodes with Mindy, and gradually what happens is Mindy starts to help Drake more for some reason. Even though these two are enemies, Mindy comes and starts to help Drake a bit more. This happens when Josh grows a moustache, which is, well, Mindy and everyone hates the moustache. But yeah, Mindy's starting to help Drake more. That is a very important point to this plot. And basically, after a couple of months of them dating, Mindy thinks that maybe Josh should meet her parents. Now, this is a big step for Josh and Mindy's relationship because, well, Mindy's parents are basically mean. And what happens is, if you start off wrong with them, it's like you're not gonna date their daughter anymore. And that's exactly what Josh did. Josh nearly had to break up with Mindy, all because he didn't have a very good start with her parents. So yeah, but luckily for Josh, what happened is that he invited them over and yeah, managed to convince them that he should be allowed to date Mindy. But while he was like doing all this stuff to the parents, Drake was in the middle of having a fight with his girlfriend Lucy because Lucy thought that he was tougher than Drake, and Drake wanted to prove him wrong. Basically, they came downstairs, nearly wrecked the whole thing with Josh and Mindy's parents. But luckily, Mindy's parents, for some weird reason, kind of liked the fighting because it was about if a boy was tougher than a girl or something and stuff like that. And basically, Mindy's parents started fighting for fun, stuff like that. So that's another point for Drake. Now you're probably wondering where I'm going here. If you're not, just wait a minute. So Drake had a good start off with Mindy's parents. Keep that in mind. Anywho, later on, about, I don't know, after a year they've been dating or something, it came to the science fair again. Yeah, it was just about a year. So, what happened in the science fair? Well, Josh thought that he was going to lose, but he won. And that was because Mindy let him win, because Mindy thought he'd always won and Josh had never won, and, well, you know, she should give him a chance. So, Mindy gave Josh a chance and Josh won. And then Josh found out about this and they sort of broke up. And what happens later is they just stay friends and not really see much of Mindy until the episode where Eric punches Drake. That's a whole other story. But in this episode, Mindy is invited to one of Josh's movie nights and Drake is there. And Drake opens the door to let Mindy in and finds out that there's another boy with him. So he tells Josh, and Josh gets really annoyed that Mindy is dating someone else. And yeah, that really makes him really, really annoyed. Eventually they find out that this boy was called Chad, and it was, well, Mindy's cousin. And what happens is Mindy and Josh kiss at the end, and they say that they're still broken up. But 2 episodes later, some things really start to happen. Mindy comes along to the premiere and becomes assistant manager to Helen. And again, Mindy's beating Josh at something, and Josh is annoyed. And Josh has wanted this assistant manager job for ages, but Mindy gets it. Okay? Luckily, Josh proves to Helen that he should have the assistant manager job. And Mindy starts having feelings for Josh again, like she did when Eric punched Drake in the eye. And yeah, so Mindy quits from the assistant manager job. There's a whole fire while people are getting married, stuff like that. And while this is happening, Drake is getting a record deal, so yeah. But basically, Mindy quits, Josh gets it, and they get back together. Okay, that is the story of Mindy. Now, for the big moment. Mindy Crenshaw and Mindy Parker. They have the first names, but their last name is not the same. So, who in Drake and Josh has their last name Parker? Well, it's not Josh, otherwise that would be really easy. I mean, Josh's last name is Nichols. But there is someone. Drake Parker, that's right. Mindy and Drake get together. Now you're probably thinking, no way, that isn't possible. What? But it is. And if you're wondering if Bolt and Drake and Josh are in the same universe, well, they technically are, even though one is animated and one isn't. They are both, Hollywood still exists in both of them. Bolt is set around Hollywood, and well, in Drake and Josh they made a whole movie about them going to Hollywood. And notice how before, while I was saying that, Mindy starts helping Drake, and that is basically how those two get together. The only problem is Mindy's parents, but remember, Josh nearly, wasn't allowed to date Mindy because he didn't have a first good impression with Mindy's parents. But Drake had a very good first impression with Mindy's parents and ended up with Mindy's parents fighting each other. So yeah, that was good. Yeah, that is how Mindy Crenshaw and Mindy Parker can be the same person. Yeah. So guys, I hope you liked this video, and tell us in the field section down below, if you had a nice Christmas, what you thought of the theory, if you thought it was any good, if you thought it was crazy, let us all know down there. Another thing, tell us again what you would like to see more of in 2017. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.